So now we have our system running. Instead of using our old pressure gauge and hose, what I've done is put a probe or just a gauge right here on the unit. It saves the hose, it saves that loss of refrigerant. So what we need to first start out with is our formula. So if we take our formula, we see it's the actual suction line blank degrees Fahrenheit. So what I'm going to do is put my temperature probe, my clamp, which has a temperature sensor here, on my actual suction line. We can actually touch it. This instrument's telling us temperature, so it's telling us the temperature of this line is 50 degrees Fahrenheit. So we're going to put that into our formula. Actual suction line temperature, 50 degrees Fahrenheit. The next thing, it says suction saturated. Saturated is PSIG converted temperature. My suction pressure is 134 with 410A. So I'm going to use my temperature pressure chart, go to 410A, PT calculator. I'm going to put my vapor pressure at 130. 130, done. Tells me my saturated temperature is 43.9. We're going to call that 44. So my suction saturated is 44 degrees Fahrenheit. Now we do the formula. 50 minus 44 equals 6. I have 6 degrees of superheated vapor. Now remember, we never want to have less than 5 so that we protect the compressor from liquid. So we're right at that point on this particular system. But this is how we do superheat. It's simply the actual suction line. We get a thermometer, put it on this suction side. Then we get a pressure reading, convert that to a saturated temperature. So here we have our refrigeration cycle. We have our formula. We've put our formula again right here. Now these numbers are going to be changing as this system runs, but we have our actual suction line temperature, the thermometer on the actual suction line. Then we have our pressure gauge hooked to the suction line also, PSIG converted to temperature with our temperature and pressure app. Or you can take a manual pressure gauge and convert it to temperature. So it's actual suction line temperature minus suction saturated PSIG converted to temperature. This is essentially how we find superheat.